Hello FPL Universe, welcome to In The Trenches. I'm your host Jonathan C.T. Martin, and first to just touch on why you are hearing from me at this moment. Originally, Beer Me Jesus and Scott wanted to bring you a new episode tonight, even as far as recording a new episode, but unfortunately due to some very serious technical difficulties, that episode can't be released tonight. So with, the time running out on the clock, you need to get an episode out. They knew they couldn't count on GMSG. They couldn't count on GM Red, especially when she's still in the hospital from facing me at Fastlane. They turned over to the one guy they could trust, Jonathan C.T. Martin. And today, on a very special episode of In the Trenches, I am giving you the full Ring of Honor 2021 predictions. The card for the predictions. For those paying attention, remember the kickoff show on Friday. I believe it is an hour before the main show starts. An hour before that is deadline. You can find us on Twitter, find us, on YouTube. I'm sure in the description there's going to be a link on how to join the Discord. The prediction page is up right now. Be careful not to duplicate confidence points. There are 10 matches on the card, so that can be a little bit more difficult when it comes to actually putting the predictions in and making sure you don't duplicate confidence points. But I assure you, just double check them and you will be fine. Let's go ahead and let's get to the full card for Ring of Honor 2021, the 19th anniversary show. In case you didn't know, since the time in the GRPL, we've just called this show Ring of Honor, considering it doesn't really make sense to, saying, oh, it's the FPL Ring of Honor 19th anniversary. It doesn't make sense. We don't do that. The card is going to kick off with GM Redhead 12 taking on Tino from the Reaction, coming off big losses at Fastlane, at least for Redhead 12 to me. This is going to be a singles match. I don't like either of these people, but, I guess we'll be there. Next up, you have the person in the main event of WrestleMania, Pain, taking on one man who's going to be in the FPL American Championship ladder match at WrestleMania. We have Pain taking on Alexander McKennedy. Both of these superstars have been kind of on different paths going into WrestleMania. McKennedy coming in with a lot of momentum. Pain has failed. Just being honest, he has lost every single match since winning the Royal Rumble. Granted, he only needs to win that match at Mania against Ash, but still, two different points of momentum. It's going to be pretty hard to see who wins there. I guess they give predictions. Scott and Beer Me give predictions. I can give predictions. I'm going for Tino to beat Red. I'm going to say McKennedy beats Pain, though this would be a big win to push Pain heading into WrestleMania, his main event match there. The next match will be Dietrich Cyrus taking on Mad Elite Titan, two superstars not currently booked for Mania. I think there's a lot of potential here. These two superstars have done really good. Mad Elite Titan was in the Elimination Chamber. Dietrich Cyrus has had a really, really good string of events. I'm going to probably go with Mad Elite Titan. I think he's just a little bit hungrier, a little bit more crafted in ring after his battles with the Midnight Rider, though this is a toss-up. Next up, in the Arbiter's Death Money Inc. Deathmatch Open Challenge, we do know who will be answering that challenge. The Arbiter did post something in character chat about this, but officially in a death match, it will be the Arbiter from Death Money Inc. taking on Lexi Briggs and Hawk, CJ Hawk. An interesting match. CJ Hawk just came off winning a triple threat match. I believe he's the second competitor in the FPL, behind yours truly, to do that accomplishment. Lexi Briggs coming off of an attack from CM Carlito and Wookie. We know they will be facing in tag team action at WrestleMania. We'll get to that a little bit later. I think this is tough. I don't think it's going to be Lexi. I think it comes down to Arbiter and Hawk. And ultimately, I'm just going to have to go for the Arbiter. He's the one who called his shot, wanting this match. It is his open challenge. I think he has this in the bag. Next up, the other man who will be in the main event of WrestleMania, Ash, taking on Ray Wrestle. Ray Wrestle coming off a kind of disappointing performance at Fastlane, losing the American Championship match, actually getting pinned by one of the guys, leading to that ending in a no contest with the double pinfall. I think Ash has this. Ash has a lot of momentum. Unlike Payne, who's really struggling and one could say is even kind of taking an easy journey to WrestleMania, Ash is putting in good performances. He just beat Modstep, which is no easy task. So I'm going to go with Ash. Next up, speaking of that tag team match booked for WrestleMania, CM Carlito versus Spinks. I think you have to go CM Carlito. He is crafty. He is smart in the ring. He is vicious. Spinks also was attacked in the parking lot on the Fastlane kickoff show, was injured, so he was not medically cleared to compete at Fastlane. You have to think those injuries less than a week later will still be affecting his performance. And if there's one person to take advantage of someone's injuries and create an opening for a victory, it has to be CM Carlito. Next up, we have RGX versus Smooth Rock. A very interesting match. Both these guys have been on quite big waves of momentum and fan support. These are two fan favorites. Smooth Rock just got upset by the Alpha Dog. RGX went to a no contest with CM Carlito at Fastlane. This one is really tricky, I think. RGX has his sights set on Rate Wrestle in a couple weeks at WrestleMania, going one-on-one his former tag team partner. Obviously, he's quite upset. He's quite emotional about that match. It only makes sense. I think I'm going to go with Smooth Rock. I think if RGX is focusing how he should on preparing for his match with Rate Wrestle, which Rate Wrestle is a very dangerous competitor we've seen, if he is properly focusing on building his strengths to that match, which probably will be a very technical encounter, seeing how Rate Wrestle wrestles, I don't think he's going to be prepared for the talents of Smooth Rock, who is a high-flying, very, very competitive individual who is very well-crafted. Smooth Rock, another one of the few to not have a WrestleMania match. So also, he's not necessarily looking forward past this match to a Mania match, at least for now. Smooth Rock has that open. He's able to focus more on RGX, and he's fighting to make it on one of those very last spots on the WrestleMania card. And especially after that shocking loss to the Alpha Dog, one has to think Smooth Rock is really going to come at this and try his hardest. Already announced the card is James Costner versus Jonathan C.T. Martin in a death match. Clearly, I'm going to win that match. Next up, in a bit of an interesting match, Rallentando and Cam, the two superstars challenging for the FPL Canadian Championship at WrestleMania. One of those two men, hopefully, you're seeing after the American Championship match, I'll say hopefully, will become the first ever FPL Canadian Champion. We'll be taking on the Outsiders, Scott and the Midnight Rider, two Canadians, two very, very vicious competitors. I mean, for all the shit I'll talk about Scott, and trust me, I don't like Scott. I mean, he is vicious. We saw that last year when he beat Bomber in a barbed wire death match. That's not an easy thing. You don't get there by just being really good at being technical in the ring. We've seen he's vicious, and I just think him and Lee have this. They've had years as a team. This is the first time Rallentando and Cam are teaming, and we've seen them have issues. They've interacted inside the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, they're building to WrestleMania. I know both men have had quite good spirits about each other, but still, I mean, I know either one of them will want to be the first Canadian champion. I think the Outsiders will take advantage of that. They'll pick these two apart, and ultimately it's teamwork that will overcome two very strong singles competitors. Finally, the main event of Ring of Honor. Very interesting match here. It will be Roman Pierce from OVS taking on JJ Rocky from Simple Creatures. These two tied at Fastlane in the triple threat match to determine who gets the advantage in War Games. Bastion was not involved. He tapped out to both of their submission moves at the same time, declared a no contest. So according to GM Red, email from GM Red once again, we will get Roman Pierce versus JJ Rocky. The winner will get the advantage at War Games for WrestleMania. We already know FBU will get the least amount of bonus points, considering Bastion was the one eliminated basically at Fastlane. I think this is hard. Roman Pierce is very chaotic, very unpredictable. But, I mean, it's JJ Rocky. This is still frontline, right? Like, I might not be Scott. I might not be Beer Me. He is still the frontline golden boy. And I think there's a very good chance JJ Rocky is going to defeat Roman Pierce. But JJ better not. Here's the thing. If JJ overlooks Pierce and is just looking towards War Games and already thinks, oh, I have this match in the bag, I think Roman Pierce is the perfect opponent to find that opening, find that confidence, find that cockiness, use it against JJ, possibly get the surprise win for OVS. I think that is very, very possible. So that is your card for Ring of Honor 2021. Last announcement today is looking towards WrestleMania. Death Money Inc., The Reaction. These are two teams who've had a lot, and I mean a lot of problems over the past few shows. We've seen them in tag team action before. The Reaction got somewhat of an upset victory. We saw Luke Gray get another victory over Kano Mack this past show in singles action. The Arbiter lost to Tino in singles action before. Seems like the Reaction have had quite the advantage over Death Money Inc. But we will see them do action, do battle 2-on-2 at WrestleMania. It will be a tag team match between the two of them, officially booked. So that is all I have today for FPL In The Trenches 2021. This thing, I don't know what I'm doing. I apologize, I am not a regular host on this. I probably will never be here again, hopefully. This show sucks. It is kind of ironic that Jonathan C.T. Martin is the one doing this show, considering this is the show that unfairly screws me, unfairly says I am sliding when I'm not. Quite frankly, I would like you to, confront Scott and Beerme about this. They probably didn't do a good job on their original recording, so I will just recap Fastlane very quickly. The only match that really matters. I beat Redhead 12. I did what I said I was going to do. I'm going to beat Costner, and I'm going to beat Junction. This was In The Trenches. Thank you so much for bearing with me. We'll see you next week. I don't know how they end this thing. I don't watch this show, so I don't know what they say. Like, we'll see you in the trenches. It's war. Bye.